Hello, Star Wars Galaxy of Hero players, and Atesh Ordo here. Today, I'm going to talk about the Grand Admiral Thrawn team that I've posted on my video a few times, but I've also had Lord Bane has done that as well. So we've kind of collaborated off and on to try different things out with the 5th slot and the Shore Trooper slot. I do agree that Shore Trooper is a pretty solid spot for this team, especially those players that actually have like the Moff Gideon and various other characters in other teams. But I'm going to go over how I have mine modded and, you know, modding suggestions, just as well as other characters you can get away with using in this team if you want. And I will say it'd be good for Datacron dependence, but I still got to improve like relics and stuff like that. So, but I'm going to get into that. So, you know, just if you guys want to, you know, see more of this, just, you know, obviously like, comment, subscribe, and share. I really appreciate it. I'm getting up there in subs, but over the 7 years I've been doing this, and Lord Bane picked it up real quick. I got to shout him out. He's been pretty solid with his subs. He's already passed me. That's kind of fun. But anyways, let me get into this. So this team is really fun to beat he does beat Jedi Master Luke, not Kenobi, Luke, but he also has, this team also beats Jabba the Hutt. And for some players, it is hard to fight Jabba the Hutt. Because, you know, Chrysanthemum revives, this and that. So it can be tricky. I will admit it can be very tricky. However, as long as you mod this team right, get them pretty quick, and well, Piett's still really quick anyways. But, you know, this is a team I would definitely recommend working on as a side project, just because if you could beat, instead of using Starkiller or whatever you use on Jabba, or even Jedi Master Luke, they don't have Jabba and they throw Jedi Master Luke on defense with crappy Jedi, you're like, well, this team does work. Because, so the key strategy of this is the Thrawn leadership. And you're like, whoa, if you do this on defense, Thrawn leadership is buggy. However, on offense, you have complete control. You will be the legendary strategist. But yeah, you get the offense, max protection. I really wish that the protection was a little better, but it is what it is. It's an old kit. I still say Grand Admiral Thrawn does deserve a touch-up, since he's been, you know, previewed in the Ahsoka show, but topic for another video. But anyway, so the big thing is the turn meter gain. 20% turn meter whenever they resist or suffer a debuff. So if you have lots of tenacity and you resist, you're going to gain that turn meter. But on the flip side, if you do get a debuff, as long as, you know, you don't get dazed or shocked or doubted, keep in mind, don't face Datacrons on the Jabba team. It will kind of wreck your strategy a little bit. At least, you know, on paper. I haven't really faced that. I haven't really faced a Jabba team with a Datacron. But anyways, so that's the big thing right there. And then also they have a lot of protection recovery. And then you get that special maneuver, which is very handy going forward. But that is the reason why I throw in. So I'm going to quickly go over his mods where I have them. This is kind of where I'm at. I do have him with higher tenacity, but I have him pretty quick. So I have him at 326. He was faster, but Lord Bane, I think it was, that talked me into maybe swapping Trez's arrow out. And so I just threw the old arrow over here. The crit avoidance arrow. So that actually technically gives me, you know, 45% crit avoid, which can be handy, especially with the arrow still having defense on it. But going back to it though, some things you want to keep in note is, since there's protection recovery and extra protection and the leadership with Thrawn, getting protection primaries will not hurt you at all, especially when you have thermals to deal with. Keep that in mind. Thermals will in fact impact you, or if you run a lot of health mods. So something to keep in mind, if you went high health, like if all 3 of these were health primaries, Thrawn would melt like that. You know, snap a finger, he's dead, boom, done. And sometimes Thrawn does die first, or, you know, early on, but that is what it is. So Piett, I still run him. So with the things with Piett though, first, Imperial ambition. you want to mark Imperial Super Commando because he will call Gar Saxon to assist and then do the little assisting shenanigans. So something to keep in mind. He will give them stacks. And then if they do die, Piett gets the stacks, but you don't want them to die. You want to try to keep as many allies you have alive as possible. The ones that can die is Thrawn. It's okay if Thrawn dies. Sometimes it's okay if your 5th dies. But Piett, Gar Saxon, and Imperial Super Commando need to stay alive so you can chew through the thick fat of Jabba the Hutt. So another key thing is your very first ability should be 100% suborbital strike. You want to get that daze on Leia so she's not constantly assisting, because you don't want them to get contract, and you don't want Jabba to get to the ultimate. Now, Jabba never had ultimate, because they're still working on getting the ultimate mats, because, that takes forever. 12 versus 10 from when GLs first started. Thanks, CG, for making it even harder. Just wait. I hate calling this out, but I'm pretty sure GLs will eventually have 14 and 16 ultimate mats because CG's greedy. But I digress. I hope not. I hope I was not a curse on that either. But yeah, so you want to daze Leia, because Leia is the key character to getting them to their contract. And then they get a lot more, like a Chrysanthid will taunt or gain damage immunity if he doesn't have fracture or buff immunity on him. So that's a big, hard thing to get through. They just get a lot more buffs, as you will. But yeah, it's really coming down. Emperor's Trap is okay. He does have 60 counter chance. So if you were able to, say you don't use Imperial Troopers, just keep this in mind. If you decide not to use Imperial Troopers for whatever reason, and you still get him in the 300s, I think you can still get him. Let me get my fastest mods that are not speed set, no arrow set. Yes, this one. You can still get them to 345. So if you can roll the mods, you can still get Piett really fast. You could build up the protection primaries. I know these are just examples for speed testing. You get the protection primaries, or the speed, secondaries up there. You can get them pretty quick, and you just slap some protection primaries, and he's still pretty, kind of bounces between. He won't be as fast, but at the same time, for Imperial Troopers, but unfortunately the Veers Piett Trooper team has kind of fallen off. Dark Trooper, a lot of people are actually pulling Dark Trooper for the Imperial Remnant team, just because, well, not right now with the Datacron, but once that Datacron expires, they're probably going to, if they have that Datacron. So something to keep in mind going forward. You could rebuild a balance, and if that's the case, because he has counter chance, you don't want the ability, like if they ever use a Boba Fett on the Jabba team, you don't want that ability block, the 2-turn ability block on Piett. It will slow your team down, and sometimes you do lose because of it. So you could argue to get potency and tenacity up here. He has a pretty solid starting base tenacity, mind you. So if you actually had 2 potency and then a tenacity set, you could get up there. You can get up there to at least 150, and you should be solid, because Boba Fett, the OG Boba Fett in the game, doesn't rock a lot of potency usually anyways. But you do, again, you always want protection primaries here. Now, Gar Saxon. Now, this one is interesting between Gar Saxon and Super Commando. I ran them both with tenacity sets, mainly because you want them, good. Lord Bane beat me. He's now, I think I'm still second place in Swoga.gg of the whole game of the highest tenacity Gar, or ISC. But you want a lot of protect. I went defensive. I do have some offense, but that's just because I did not want Imperial Super Commando. So if I ever use them in the Mall Mandalorians, you don't want Imperial Super Commando to taunt before Gar Saxon. Because if for some reason, I have to remod some of the characters in there, but if you have Jango Fett getting hits by an assist, you can see where that can go. Oh, let's just throw the taunt on ISC. ISC dies. Then that whole team just gets shut down, because ISC is the key character. But you still want them there. It doesn't hurt to get more protection. I do have a decent amount of protection secondaries too, so getting protection will help him. But just make sure if you are using them off and on between Maul Mandalorians, and then the Thrawn team, you want Gar Saxon or ISC to be not as tanky as Gar Saxon. You want him to be a bit more tankier. But at the same time, you don't want them either to die in either team because they have that bouncing off each other's synergy. So, because they do get some more defense, crit avoidance, health, and protection. So there's a lot in there. But again, I would recommend both Gar Saxon, ISC, high tenacity, make Gar Saxon thick. Now, keep in mind, another caveat real quick, and I'll do this. I do plan on doing a video for the Maul Mandalorians, the Dark Side Maul Mandalorians, with their modding strat. Make sure Gar Saxon is not tankier than Jango. You want Jango Fett to take that Commander Ahsoka Tano nuke. That's if they have Cat. You can still beat with Dark Side Mandos against that Jedi Master Kenobi team if they don't have Cat, like they had used some other random Jedis. Like they just barely unlocked it. They're still working on the Cat from Conquest because we know how Conquest is. So, but yeah, I digress. Yeah. So again, high tenacity, and all that. So Short Trooper, there's a lot of ways you could go Short Trooper route, but I actually went the tenacity route as well. I do plan on improving his mods in the near future, but I want, high protection, high health, stuff like that. I still like the idea of healing. There's the Datacron that's out, and I do have that, so I still rock Short Trooper. Use, especially in 3v3 GAC. I do tend to put Gar, ISC, and Short Trooper on defense, and it trips so many people up. I don't know why so many people like trying to do Darth Vader lead against this, because as soon as he do Merciless Massacre, he may do an AoE, but then once he starts doing his basics, yeah, they're just going to counter and you're dead. And game, set, match. And then the rest of the crew just die. So, yeah, it's funny and hilarious all at the same time. But again, Short Trooper is definitely worthwhile. You can go defense mods if you want. Health mod. I probably stay kind of away from health mods, because if you're using it for the Jabba counter, that health, yeah, I do have some health, but I do have, just because I don't have, I'm short on tenacity mods, because I use tenacity like crazy. Check this out. Look at all those tenacity mods. Tenacity mods are my most used mods. There's a couple of characters I might drop away from tenacity, and when I do, I could probably bounce them into other characters. But yeah, I have a lot of characters with tenacity. So yeah. So anyways, sorry, I'm going off tangent again. I apologize. But I do want to, kind of address that. So again, a good amount of tenacity is always good in this team. Again, like I said, you can still get a pretty fast Piett with tenacity and potency. You do want the potency so you can land it, because you want to land that daze on Bosch Leia, because she already has a high base. Okay, let's go to her real quick. Actually, let me go to her real quick. Hut Cartel, there we go. Bosch Leia. Let's see. I'm gonna just strip her mods, not permanently. Remove. Let's see what she has. A high base potency. She also has a high base tenacity. There we go. Tenacity 77%. So if they actually, you can still get her pretty quick. With tenacity and potency. She has a base potency of 141. So all you need to do is have one potency set with potency cross, and then literally no other potency, and you're rocking high. I actually put her really high for the Jabba mission, the smuggler run too, just because I want to land those thermals, because that team could be annoying. So, but anyways, that's just some example I want to show. Let's see. Let's go back to the Empire. Anyways, so that is that. But now I'm going to go over, and I will do a battle at the end, kind of walk you through it. So I'm going to go over characters to use, not to use, etc. So first off, the rest of the Maul Mandalorians, they do trigger. Like if you still want the Datacron, you don't have any other Imperials to use, you could slap one of these in there, but they're not going to work very well. However, there is one advantage for Jango Fett. First off, as long as you have his unique Zeta, you can kill, if someone's like super weak and you nuke them with a shrapnel blast, you kill them good. Like, so if you weaken Chrysanthemum down and you just nuke him, he's not coming back. And that's going to save you so much time. But again, he's not going to assist. There's no assisting with other Darkside Mandos unless it's a full team of Darkside Mandos under Maul lead. So there's no way to trigger Jango Fett. So unfortunately, that's the downside. Maul, like, I do want to try him, but not in the normal sense. I wouldn't mind trying him in the maybe like a Jedi Master Luke team, because that opening AoE could trigger Maul to it will trigger Maul to counter, and there could be some assists to really weaken that Jedi Master Luke, or maybe some other but at the same time, Maul just doesn't, again, he doesn't call anyone to assist because all the assisting calling is through the lead, and the unique doesn't do any of that as well. So it, like, yeah, you can get some cooldown increases. That's always nice. But that's about it. And Canderous, he does nothing unless, like I said, just don't use the Darkside Mandos. They're just not going to work at all. Lord Vader, however. Now, if you're working on Lord Vader, there's only one thing I can see. I have seen Zareth post something like this where he had Lord Vader because he's like, I don't know where to put my Lord Vader on defense. Do not put this Thrawn team on defense. It's better on offense so you have more control. Because if you do throw Lord Vader in this team, he will be the prime target to be marked from Piett, which means, and he doesn't have any counter effect. He doesn't have any way to counter. So he's just going to sit there, soak the damage, and no counters will assist, and your team's not going anywhere. However, on offense, I don't have him yet, unfortunately. I do plan on testing him when I get him to Relic. I'll test him in there. One, he has an extra AoE days. You can actually open up with the AoE days so that if you want to go against Jabba, the Piett can just target automatically, instead of doing his AoE days, he can just straight up target ISC, and then they can just do that. That is one thing you can think of, but just remember, Lord Vader is squishier because the lead has all these, has all this, which makes the team more durable. So be careful. I also do plan on using him with Traya too on defense under Traya lead for fun. Anyways, but here's some options that has worked between both me and Lord Bane. We've tested them. Moff Gideon is probably one of the best options. Granted, again, same with our Dark Trooper being pulled out of Imperial Troopers. Moff Gideon's going to be pulled out, is probably his best team right now. Actually, some of his best teams are, first and foremost, the if you have them, the new Moff Gideon Imperial Remnant team. He's also really useful with Padme, the Gidme squad. Very useful team there. So you can be like, oh, I don't want to use that because I need So it's a up trade. That's why I feel like Shore Trooper is the best. Or I feel like Moff Gideon's the best. Overall, I've had more success, and I've suggested Lord Bane. He's like, ooh, this is even better. However, I do have the Shore Trooper Datacron until it disappears after 19 or so days, and then it's gone for good. But again, Moff Gideon is very handy, and the reasons why: he has Demoralize, weakens the enemy team on damage, keeps your team alive even more. It pairs well with Thrawn, his protection, recovery, extra protection. He controls to assist. So once you want to use this, once everyone does not have the deadly bluff, because that's what stops the assisting. Doesn't stop countering, it just stops assisting. So once you're able to, he will call Imperial Trooper Allies to assist, which is Piett. And so Piett will then do his little few calls to assist, and then they can mow some people down. You also have Armor Shred, which is handy to taking down Jabba. The first Armor Shred should always go to Chrysanthemum, and then after that, try to, unless you know that you'll kill a character with this versus a basic. He does have an extra days once he builds up to it, but Armor Shred on Jabba will help you chew through Jabba's massive health pool. TIE Pilot, he's not bad. I've seen, I haven't tested myself, but Lord Bane has. The Foresight's great. That's what really keeps him around. Extra buff immunity, the AoE ability block. Oh no, ability block's not, buff immunity on all enemies. and then ability block on the target. Then you also got tenacity down, which this is also a prime character to slap in like one of my previous videos talking about baiting Wampa with Iden without Scout Trooper, is TIE Pilot. They break it, even though he should be Imperial Trooper. Just saying he should. But breaks up the Iden team so he can, inflict that tenacity down. Oh, maybe I should have kept going. Royal Guard. I have used him. I just don't have the best of the best mods because I would put a lot of protection. One downside is he gains a lot of health, so he is easier to kill off. But one advantage he does have is defense up. That's always great. Getting extra defense is nice. Heal over time for Empire allies. But then granting them health up. Not really health up, but the retribution. So that, say, Jabba does his little AoE, or, Leia does her AoE, and then just everyone just mows her down because everyone had retribution. Any AoE effects. This is even, relevant with Jedi Master Kenobi. Or Jedi Master Luke, sorry, I keep getting those mixed up. Plus he has a stun on basic. Like, you can't go wrong with that. Even for other teams. I think Inquisitorius, there's some Inquisitorius teams you can face as well. Tarkin, he just gets very hard to kill because he gets a lot of potency. And if you have a potency Datacron, that's even better. Lord Bane has tested this one as well. And then Range Trooper. I have tested this one. I got to, figure out how I do want to mod Range Trooper because he's been bouncing around between tenacity sets and all that. But this one, again, getting protection up for Empire allies is nice. It helps keep them around a bit longer. Recovering protection for him and Piett. Retribution for him and Piett. So him and Piett will counter more. And then he has the chance, while Range Trooper is active, Imperial Trooper allies have 50% chance to call another buffed Imp Trooper to assist. So say he does steady, he's going to have a chance to call Piett, and then they're going to start that assisting synergy. And then I have done one video, and I have tried Mara Jade. Granted, Mara Jade's best home is any team with Emperor Palpatine lead. By far. Actually, there is a Starkiller team that some people use where they use Darth Vader lead and Mara Jade. So there is that as well. But I have liked this one because, if not, randomly call a useful pawn ally to assist. And, if Emperor Palpatine is not there, everyone's going to have a debuff at the start. So there's going to be a little extra bit turn meter with useful pawn. So there's that. You got shocks, staggers, offense down, stun, dispelling buffs, vulnerable. Like, she does have a lot, so you can get away with using Mara Jade. And if you have her fairly fast, she can go to town. And again, that extra random ally called to assist can trigger off the Gar ISC assisting. And then Vader, you can get away with Vader, I'm sure. I haven't used it yet, but he can go to town, spread ability blocks. Maybe not on, but there's other teams, obviously, like I said, you can get away with attacking, but it's just there. Ninth Sister is an extra tank that will taunt. I don't know why I keep backing out, sorry. She does have ground pound, which does inflict daze. So it's an extra daze, defense down, potency down, which, that's always nice for Leia. Reduce her potency. I think you can make her pretty quick. I don't know the proper speed. I didn't mean to go in the mods. But, she does taunt off and on, and a lot of times she's thrown to the wayside anyways, so it doesn't hurt to use her. Imperial Probe Droid, if you make him pretty quick, he's going to gain turn meter. You can go remove buffs as long as you have his Zeta. Target locked enemies won't gain buffs and have reduction in evasion. I wouldn't explode, but basic with expose, that's always nice on the non-Jabba allies. The only reason why I'm thinking Piett Veers is extra turn meter for him and Piett, offense up for him and Piett, protection recovery for the both of them, and then of course an extra call to assist with an AoE ability block. So, but aside from that, there's a few others I haven't tried yet. I may try in the near future. And I'm going to go over these ones real quick. So, yes, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon would work because he does have a revive for Gar and ISC if they die. I do want to try it, but then again, Dark Trooper Moff Gideon teams already can beat Jabba, so it's like, what do you do? But that's also dependent on if you worked on him, but you still have Imperial Remnant team not fully geared up, so you can run it. Reyva. Now, if you're one of those guys that, you know, cheesed it with your guild and you don't have Inquisitors, like I do have 101. I haven't worked on my Inquisitors yet, but like after I get Lord Vader unlocked and worked on, I will be working on my Inquisitorius to work towards Grand Inquisitor and so on. But you know, if you do happen to have her, this is a good home for her if you're not using her with Lord Vader. Grand Inquisitor, yeah, he's an Inquisitor. They got debuffs, turn meter. Scout Trooper, you got a daze off of him. I haven't tried it because I don't have them. Yeah, there's a mod missing on Stormtrooper. But yeah, aside from that, yeah, those are the characters I'd probably look into. You could try out, but I feel like the best ones by far is Short Trooper. Just because he's not really used anywhere else, and then Moff Gideon, Range Trooper, and Royal Guard, I feel like my favorite options for this team. Now, I'm going to quickly do a battle real quick. So, again, I apologize, it's taking a while, but it's a lot of info going into it. There's a team out here I want to try out. I still need to do my Grand Arena attack. Let's see, no, I was going to do a different Jabba battle. Wish you can scroll through instead. I think this is the one. Yeah, I don't want to do a Datacron. They inflict a debuff. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and get into this. Let's hope this works while recording. So, Thrawn, Piett, Gar, ISC, and I will show Short Trooper, just because I have his Datacron, and I'm going to match Datacron for Datacron. Honestly, if you have a Datacron, use it. Like, if you don't have a lot of Datacrons, it makes sense. But if you do have a Datacron, it doesn't hurt to use them because it's always going to make your team better anyways. Like, look at that. I have some crit damage, but I also have tenacity and potency. So, yeah, my tenacity is up there for some. This is the Boba Fett one. Let's see, where's his potency at with this Datacron? 63%. I just upped mine to... Where is Admiral Piett at tenacity with the Datacron? 180, so he should resist that AoE ability block. All right, let's get into it. So, first and foremost, we got to get in the battle. Tick-tock, game, tick-tock. And then we will go into... So, let's see what happens. I like to also pull this up. So, Thrawn will immediately go. And the turn meter... or the turn order doesn't matter because I got hit by Thrawn there. They hit Thrawn there, but they could have hit anyone else. So, AoE daze. There, you see daze. There's the ability block. Okay, I resist the ability block, which that's why I am thinking of remodding Piett, but I got to have a lot of God mod rolls. So, this is your friend right there. Boom. I do like doing this just because the crit immunity, crit immunity is very handy. Okay. I will say there's one thing you do want to be careful with is if you constantly keep stripping their turn meter, they do get either bonus protection or protection up. Look at that. Look at that. That was a lot of health gone. And then I think, yeah, ISC is... Oh, no, he's not. Okay. There is still... Yeah. That buff there, Deadly Bluff, is going to cost you. Oh, look at that. That Datacron's coming in handy. Let's see. I want to strip buffs off of you. Come on. I like you stay locked down. Let's heal everybody up. Boom! Down. Sorry if that was a little too loud. Let's see. Buff immunity. Yep. And then you just mow these guys down, because these, as long as Chrysanthemum is fractured, you see right there, there's bonus protection. And then another thing I like doing is swapping, and you're dead. Oh, thank you for killing yourself off there. See, that's the advantage of the tenacity. Let's, just in case, I like that, and then I got it. And you also got to be careful, because if they keep using their special abilities, Rancor can go to town on you. And yeah. And this is why Moff Gideon isn't bad either, because they reduce the damage. Oh, 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 yeah, there we go. There we go. Again, Shore Trooper wants to... Oh, that's another advantage. If you can dispel the speed up from Thrawn's basic, you got an ability block right there. Isn't that a beauty? Now, sometimes it's best to just go straight after Chrysanthemum. But, like, I could kill Jabba. Usually you want to get after Chrysanthemum, because if he starts going to town using some abilities, you could trigger Jabba's ultimate. Boom. Right there. Pretty solid. Again, that's with Shore Trooper. I have other videos, and as well as Lord Bane, he has other videos showing Moff Gideon, just because Moff Gideon does provide damage reduction. So, something to keep in mind. But again, I digress. It's a fun team. It is a fun team. I would highly recommend building it up, because you never know. And plus, Bane has countered some of these teams with Gar and ISC, Gar lead. Like, I wouldn't go against that SLKR. Okay, I gotta see this. Let's go to the Sith Assassin. Let's see. I want to see something real quick. I want to try something, but it all depends on... Okay, that's Grand Arena. It's not a part of it. Max health, increase their cooldowns. Bane siphons. I am curious. Granted, you never see this. Boop doop 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 doop. Let's go Empire. And let's go boom boom. No, not you. No. You. I'm curious to see if that AoE will trigger the... You see what I'm saying? I'm just curious. I am just curious. Let's see what happens. Because I think he starts with the AoE. Oh, no, he doesn't. Oh, we'll find out. Holy cow! Go to town! Oh, there's no... Big mistake right there. Boom. That was it. I had to. And then assist. And it's done. I just had to. I was curious. It does work. So, don't use Darth Bane against that team. Maybe with the Sith Eternal, because you can get away with still Sith Eternal sticking around. Well, maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, be careful with that. So, but aside from that, let me know in the comments below. What is your thoughts on Thrawn? Let me know if you do plan on building the team. What fifth slot will you use for this team? And again, I apologize for the length of this, but there's a lot of information for this video, so keep that in mind. Aside from that, thank you for watching. I really appreciate all those who watch the videos I make, and you guys have a phenomenal day.